What up, guys? My name's Casey's Raw. I got my friend AJ Raiders over here. Um,
How's it going?
how's it going, my friend?
Same old, same old. Just here hanging out with you doing this Dark Side of the Ring on TNA and Jeff Jarrett's career.
Yeah. So yeah, this is season 7. God, 7 already of Dark Side
Yeah.
of the Ring, and honestly, they could do a whole season of TNA. Honestly,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
like even some people are even thinking the stuff that's happening currently probably could be right on here with TNA, but
Yeah.
um, but I think currently some of the stuff is nowhere near what was going on during the Dixie Carter era, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that I don't even think it's nowhere near. It's kind of like it's just you got the iceberg that what she done. And then like the tip is kind of what Anthem did, like
Absolutely.
not saying that Anthem has been perfect with their management, but I think they doing better since under new management. But um, yeah, so gonna help us out with with episode 1 and 2. Me and AJ we kind of having a little help. We seen the episodes, but it would kind of help us with this right here with the bullet points right here. We got season 1 and 2. They got where they have Jeff Jarrett's wrestling family background and personal life, and yeah, they pretty much saying that his dad was a promoter, and I think his aunt was part of the wrestling business as well. Like his whole family was in the wrestling business for the longest time.
Yeah, he's a
So
third generation promoter because his grandfather was the
yeah,
first, then his father, then he was.
yeah. So then yeah, so and then they talk about his time in when he was become Double J in WWE, well in WWF in like '95, and then
Yep.
move on to his "Don't Piss Me Off" era in like '98, '99, and then obviously, they show footage of his interview during that right after the Owen Hart tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pretty bad. Like I seen that
It was.
it it was bad. It was like it's gotta suck because I believe he was the next guy coming out, so that's horrible. Like your
It was
friend,
the next match. It was him and D'Lo Brown, if I remember correctly.
and they were coming out to do the next match, and um, yeah, like that's gotta suck. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, when you see your best friend, you know, fell from the Kemper Arena and hit the ring, turnbuckle, and blood still on the canvas of your best friend. I mean, it's kind of upsetting. And to the fact of the matter is, I know the show must go on, but
yeah.
that's got to be very eerie just to know, hey, I'm the next match up, and a
Oh yeah.
traumatic situation just happened.
hmm I mean, if you watch some people brought it up recently, where, especially ever since the Dark Side of the Ring, where like they were saying how, like honestly, that shouldn't have been continued. Like it was a crime scene. Like
Yeah,
it was,
yeah, exactly.
it
You're
should
right,
have,
Casey. It was.
so it should have stopped right there and taped it up because I mean,
Hmm.
when you have other wrestlers coming around and wrestling in that same ring, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they were saying to stay away from the area where he fell on, but
Mm-hmm.
because it was damaged.
Yeah.
But I mean, they still went ahead and did a whole show. So pretty
Yeah,
much just
that's kind of messed up about Vince McMahon. That his um what's the word I'm looking for? His pattern is, oh, the show must go on, the fans must see entertainment. You literally had one of your stars fall from 30, 40 feet in the air, die in your ring. You're highly liable for his death and his family, you
yeah.
know? And you just sweep him. You literally just, how they say, put him off the mat, roll him in the back, and go on. And it's like,
Mm,
jeez, like for real. That's Yeah, I agree. They should have canceled the rest of the show, gave the fans the money back, and went on and explained what happened with Owen the next night on
mm.
Raw.
True. But I think, I mean, he didn't experience anything like that before in his company. So he's probably, it was on the spot and he probably had to, like, well, he probably had no idea what to do. So it's like, I'm sure he was kind of like, I'm just playing devil's advocate right now
Right,
for
I get
him.
it.
That, like, he probably, like I said, he probably in a he just fought like he froze up and he probably was like, just send it out the next guy. We'll figure it out, you know? And then they're like,
Yeah,
we'll just finish you up and we'll take care when it's all over. But I mean, I it's not like I do think Vince actually does care for the wrestlers. I just think, like I said, like if it happened like when Eddie died, let's say Eddie died right there and then at
mm-hmm.
the let's say at the show, I think they would have
Right.
probably canceled the show. And like, look what they did when Benoit was found out that not only he died, that his whole family died. They canceled the show. So
Well,
I
they
think,
didn't do that with Pillman, and Pillman died in the hotel just before Bad Blood in
yeah,
Your House, which, yet again, it was in
hmm
St. Louis, Missouri. Isn't that kind of strange that you literally had the Kiel Center where Bad Blood in Your House was?
hmm
Pillman dies at the hotel before the show or in between the show. And then 3 years later, Owen Hart dies in the same exact arena. That is very something strange going on in St. Louis. And it really sucks that we don't have Token because he could really speak about that because he's from their area. But
yeah.
anyways, what's the next
Well,
bullet point? I mean, honestly, because it's kind of
oh,
sad.
it is. Well, then pretty much you go from when Jeff Jarrett leaves WWF, and he pretty much they talk. It's not on the bullet point, but I know they kind of talked about it as when Jeff Jarrett was still the Intercontinental Champion,
Yep,
and where he was asking for money, was asking for $100,000, and then he walked around the arena and then he told Vince that make it two now. And he decided, Vince said, sure. And he did it. I
yeah,
was, what I heard during um, my world with, God, what's his,
Conrad.
Conrad Thompson. I think they said it was completely different. I think he was talking to JR, and he had to
Yeah,
run. JR had to run to Vince because I think JR is like, well, I think we owe you about $1,500, not 15, no, $150,000. And
yeah,
then it's like, okay, go ask if that's all right. And then when he came back, then he told JR that he wanted to double it to
I thought
three.
I heard it was $100. I thought it was $100,000, and he said okay. And then Jeff Jarrett said, make that another $100, 100,000, so it's two hundred
Well,
thousand dollars,
well, that's
and he
what they
wanted it
say in.
that day.
Yeah, well, that's what they said in this one, but this is what I heard from him from
Okay,
on Conrad's
okay.
podcast.
Oh,
So
I
I
mean,
mean, like I don't. Which one is more accurate? The one he was with Conrad, or this one where he's asking for $200,000, or is it $300,000? I mean, it's not like, oh, I got $500 or $600. I mean, it's quite a bit more money, you know. I'm like,
oh, exactly.
so, but I'm like, it's here or there, but yeah, they
Right.
talk about that a little bit, and then obviously they showed where he shows up in WCW right
Mm-hmm.
after the next, no, right after he was on the
The
WWF
second
pay per
time,
view. Yeah, so yeah, he flipped back and forth
he's a
between
flip flopper.
WWF and yeah, he was a flip flopper. And then obviously when WCW shut down in 2001, um,
Mm-hmm.
he
The
was
infamous
fired.
Vince McMahon. You're fired.
Yeah. Well, no, he said, you know how Jeff likes to spell his name, JEFF. Well, tonight it's gonna be GOONNE.
Okay, calm down there, Jr.
But and then they really didn't talk too much about his WCW career because I mean, yeah, he went from 99 to 2001 and barely into 2001, so like a year and a half, maybe 2 years top being there, you know. And he still
Yeah.
had a good chunk of the year of 2001 left when he I guess I think the rest of the year that they owed Jeff from
Mm-hmm.
Time Warner.
Yep.
So, so he wasn't in bad shape just yet because he was still getting money. Prime Time Turner. So, so they could have he could have waited, but they also didn't talk about the infamous uh fish trip fishing trip
The
with
fishing trip.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, with himself, his dad Jarrett and Bob Ryder, where they came up with starting the promotion.
Yeah.
And and obviously when they were gonna bring up the name TNA, well, Jeff Jarrett, no, I mean Vince Russo went in and was like, I'm the one who said it. Like I'm the one who brought up the idea of TNA because tits and ass. So he
Yeah.
that's the
Okay.
that's the second time I heard. So I mean, I I think it's kind
They
of true.
glossed over a big partial of it too, if you think about it. Because originally it was called NWA TNA because they had to
Yeah,
get associated with the National Wrestling Alliance to
yeah,
even start TNA. That was the big point that a lot of people glossed over
mm.
in that first two episodes. That they used
Well,
the NWA titles from
oh yeah,
2002 all the way to 2006, 2007, around that time frame. Maybe it was 2000. Yeah, it was like 2005, 2006, around there.
I think it's later. I think it's up to like 909. I think I could be wrong.
No, they had their own title then, because AJ Styles
Okay,
won his first TNA championship in 2009.
okay. Well, well, he also had the NWA belt though too.
Oh yeah, AJ Styles held the NWA title twice
Hmm.
in the NWA TNA, and then right after they branched off from TNA NWA as just TNA. Yeah.
Well, trying to think. Yeah. So, I was gonna say I do believe the whole TNA initials main tits and ass. I do believe that's true because, dude, look how many times there's some sexual reference in their product at the time. You have dancing women in cages.
In cages. Yep.
Yeah. And then you have like literally a group called SEX,
Yeah.
Sports Entertainment Extreme. Like
Yep.
he was trying to find anything to have something related with sex. Obviously, Vince Russo is just a pervert. Like all he thinks um is sex all at all times because that's
Wait,
all
hold
he
on,
seems.
bro. That's your guy. Vince Russo's your guy.
I don't hate Vince Russo. I was just saying that it's like it's pretty obvious that he thinks about sex all the time.
Well, we lost Case.
All right, so yeah, I do believe that TNA means tits and ass because all the sex references.
Oh yeah.
So I do believe that's true because I mean, God, you know, he was a huge fan of the Jerry Springer show, and not
Oh
only
yeah.
that,
Crash
he was
TV.
yeah. And then the same thing with he's a fan of Howard Stern too, you know. So I wouldn't doubt. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's pretty evident.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny how they were saying that Vince, they take a knock at Vince Russo. I think it was Delos has to Vince Russo. They would say if it the perfect wrestling show for Vince Russo, it'd be 5 minutes of actual wrestling, and the rest of it would be promo work in a 120-minute show.
Yeah, I did see that, and honestly, D'Lo's not wrong.
I mean, you need a little bit of mixture of both. I mean, you still need to have wrestling, but not just 5 minute wrestling here and 5 minute wrestling there. You need to have. See, it's kind of missing the mixture. Like, I think WWE has slightly the better storylines, while AEW has the better wrestling. And but they don't have good stories. I mean, a lot of the good storylines. So, I mean,
Right.
we need that medium right there, you know?
Yeah. Well, like how I've always looked at it this way: if you're gonna do a wrestling show or a wrestling promotion, how you start entrant or intro, right? Then
Yeah.
you start off with like the pyro show in the ring, whatever, right?
Hmm.
Then you start with a promo. Or if you want to be like WCW, go straight into the fucking cruiserweights, and then you have a promo. Then you go back to like an interview or a promo right there. Then you go back to wrestling. It's just back and forth. That's what makes a wrestling show good. You can't just have all this
Hmm.
promo time that it's filler. It's what WWE does. There's a
Yeah.
lot of filler. You can't have that. You're gonna lose the wrestling fans' interest real quick by doing that. And then doing
Hmm.
stupid shit, that's going to drive them away too. We've all seen that with Russo with the whole Viagra on the pole. Nobody wanted to see that.
Well, it's kind
Nobody
like
did.
well, it's kind of funny. It's kind of like how I'm trying to remember who said this that when someone said that no, I guess it was Vince Russo. Vince Russo says, you know, Jim Cornette wants or is it Jarrett wants the Jarrett wants 1970 USWA wrestling,
Yeah.
while Vince Russo wants a midget masturbating in the trash can. Like, hold on.
Yeah,
I agree not to have really old school wrestling, but like having a midget masturbating in a trash can, and not only that, they have footage of the midget with a freaking gun in the ring. And it's not the first time
yeah.
it's not the first time we had a gun in the ring. Even though like Stone Cold went around the whole arena with a gun, but ended
Brian
up having
Pillman.
Brian Pill. Well, that was also at his house. It was in the arena, but
He still
like
showed it on
Stone.
TV though.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. So I mean, but you're at the show and you have the midget with the gun in hand. And it's like, oh
Yeah,
my
that was funny.
god.
Even though it was a
So
prop gun.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, well, technically a prop gun is just they always say a prop gun, and it would just be a gun without supposed to be with no bullets, you know,
Yeah, they
or
make
it
sure
could
it's
be
cold.
yeah. But yeah, the first episode was really more about half of it is talking about Jeff Jarrett and his uh like a fast track of his career going from his wrestling past. And like I said,
Hmm.
they didn't talk too much about before his WWF run, really.
Yeah.
But like and then they kind of fast tracked his WCW career and into the creation of TNA. So they're
Oh yeah.
saying right here the creation of TNA from scratch after WCW's closure, starting as an alternative promotion. Well, I mean, yeah, it was one of them, but there was other promotions doing that too. I remember XWF. That was
Yeah.
one that Jimmy Hart was doing a promotion with Brian Knobs, and well, they were the figure. Uh, they were the figure. The faces of that company. They weren't the
Okay.
owners,
See, honestly,
but
I never seen that wrestling company. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it
mm,
because, like, me personally, after WCW went away,
mm,
I kind of lost interest. And then I started high school that following year, and a girl I knew, I was, going to her house, doing a little something, hey, hey, But anyway, she
mm.
had fucking, at the time, I think it was TNN or Spike was on, and I seen TNA right then. No, that was 2006. So that was after that. Oh,
When
yeah.
TNA joined, it was Spike TV.
Yeah, yeah, it was Spike. I think
Yeah,
maybe it was the weekly pay-per-views that were like 2000. Yeah, it was 2002. So I was
yeah, that
13
was
at that time.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah,
2002, all the
yeah,
way up to like I think 2004 when they
yeah,
were on Fox Sports One.
yeah. Well, no, Fox
It,
Sports One started 2005.
I I okay, but they were still doing the weekly pay-per-views
Yeah,
until they wanted to start doing uh once a month pay-per-views like the WWE was doing, you know.
yeah.
Even but yeah, but like they also had another company they called WWA. That was
What's that?
it was called the Wrestling World Wrestling All Stars.
Oh, World
Jeff
Wrestling
Jarrett.
All Stars. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they had Jeff Jarrett was part of that. With he was wearing the NWA belt at that time too, and the I believe the
Were they
WWE belt.
associated with the NWA?
No,
Huh. That's weird.
but the WWE belt looked like a boxing championship belt, not like a wrestling belt.
Oh, it's that big, huh?
It looked generic. Let's just say
Oh,
that.
okay.
And then yeah, and those were the three I heard. Oh, and obviously got Ring of Honor too. Ring of Honor. Those were the two biggest ones. Ring of Honor and TNA was what came out of when ECW and WCW went down. Um,
Yeah. Wasn't Ring
Honestly,
of Honor like 2004, right?
no, that came out in 2002 as well.
It
They
did?
both came,
Huh.
yeah, they both came up at pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, because it was
So,
June 19th for TNA. I don't know what day that was for Ring of Honor. Because,
mm,
dude, I didn't hear about Ring of Honor until like AJ Styles came.
well, well, that's where he came from. Was Ring of Honor originally
Hmm.
before he went to TNA because he
Really?
was doing, yeah, he was working with Ring of Honor and doing
Huh.
independent work, and then he signed with TNA after that.
See, because what I remember was soon as WCW went down, I
Mm,
thought he did a couple dark matches with WWE. They didn't like him
he,
because he was so small. So then he, went home and they tried, and he was doing a little bit of the indie stuff. Jeff Jarrett seen him from WCW and brought him into TNA. That's what I thought. I did not know
uh,
that he was in any of that.
no, what I heard is that yeah, AJ Styles did do some work with WWF at the time, but
Yeah.
they actually offered him a development contract,
Hmm.
but he turned it down because I think they wanted him to move away where he was living
Yeah, because
from
he
from
was in Georgia. They wanted him to go up
yeah,
north. Yeah. And his wife was pregnant at the time.
yeah, and he wanted to stay with his wife, so it
Well,
made
yeah.
sense. Like he didn't want his wife to move back with her family while he's out wrestling with the WWF.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
uh, so that's why he chose not only Ring of Honor, he chose TNA afterwards. But no, it wasn't because WWF said no to him. They offered him a development contract.
No, see,
But
I didn't know about that.
yeah, he said that too. But that's that's AJ Styles. So let's see what we got here. Let's go to the bullet point. So they says struggles in innovating concepts, and I agree 100% when they were brought up the six-sided ring. So that came Jeff Jarrett came up with that, but I think also that was a AAA idea as well because he said he took the idea from UFC because they had the octagon, so he
Right.
wanted a six-sided ring. But I think AAA was doing that as well. I know AAA
Were they?
was, yeah. I know they were doing that at one point because
Mm,
when even during around that time because when I was dating before my wife, I did see AAA on TV with the six-sided ring, so I believe that's possible. I mean, I'm not
mm.
saying that he didn't come up with that idea, but I guess how they say great minds think alike, you know?
I guess so.
Sometimes
I mean, that's news to me.
I'm just saying I'm not gonna straight up say he's a liar because I have no proof.
Yeah.
And two, like I said, some people can come up with the same idea pretty much at the same time. So I'm not going to call him a liar.
Right. I mean, but we
So,
do have to harp back a little bit too, because if we're going to talk about the wrestling rings, we got to
mm,
start from the very first episode of TNA, NWA TNA. The
oh yeah, they
original
had the
concept of their ring was the
was
old
four sided.
WCW ring.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it was the old WCW ring that they
yeah,
purchased. And the thing broke before the first show even started. They were working on it before it started airing because I
yeah.
guess there's some match that happened and it broke.
Didn't they mention that too?
Yeah, that's exactly what they mentioned, that that Jim, what was it? Jeff Jarrett purchased that ring from I forget
Yeah.
what wrestler because I believe when WCW went under, The Rock got one, The Undertaker got
Mhm.
one. I forget who was the other ones. That else, maybe Booker T
Yeah, I
had
think
it.
it was Booker T.
Yeah, but anyways, they literally were working on it, and they had a dark match, and the ring broke right there. So they're sitting there running, hurrying to get everything fixed before the very first show started ever with the company.
Well, yeah, that's right. It was a WCW ring, and you
Yep.
can. It was a four-sided ring, S- like so they had to start. I mean, honestly, when he brings that up, he's talking about when they went to TNA Impact, when they went to No, actually, when they went to Fox Sports One, when
What?
they first had TNA Impact. That's when they started really using the six-sided ring. Before
Oh
that,
yeah,
they
yeah.
were really they were using the four-sided ring before that.
Mhm.
So, but like you really think early days of TNA, you really do think the six-sided ring. But if you go even beyond before that, like you said, is the old WCW ring. So
Yeah.
you are correct.
The only difference between it is they flipped the mat. They painted the wrestling post red when they were originally black
Mm.
because that was the difference you could tell between a WWF ring and a WCW
Mm.
ring is the ring post. Those ring posts were
Mm.
iconic for WCW. That's why when people, if you go back and you see that, it was like, holy shit, it was. That's all they did.
Well, let's see. Go back. So it did where it says the building the X division, and like yeah, that was like their version of the cruiserweights.
Hmm.
So all right, and we're back, and we have Kratos has joined us, and he said that he just finished watching it and enjoyed it. So um, before we run these points down to him, got any thoughts of part one or the first two episodes?
Part one actually brought more of a business perspective on how TNA for me came into like came to life to me. You know,
Mm,
it
it is.
it actually was very informative compared to most companies that are formed in wrestling.
Well, before you were here, I was just saying that they could really do a whole season of TNA on Dark
Hmm.
Side of the Ring because TNA's done some shady shit in their
Yep.
past.
Daphne
So,
Younger rings any bells for people.
well,
Daphne Younger is one bell I could play.
yeah, I mean, we still got episode three, but I mean,
Mm,
what they're gonna do. It's like they're gonna miss a bunch of stuff. Like
yep.
they're not gonna be able to mention every single thing in episode three. This is why I was saying they should have been the full season because there's so much shit they could talk about TNA.
Hmm.
Like now they got to
The
cram a lot of it in the last episode.
the moment when I saw that the next part will be focused around the Eric Bischoff Hulk Hogan days, I'm like, oh my god, this is not going to be enough information for 1 hour.
No, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was like, oh yeah, like if they're gonna go there, then like I mean, I don't want to
You
go
could have just
skip.
made this a 3 hour episode, dude. I don't think people would
Well,
have gave a
tec-
damn.
well, technically, that's what we are getting 3 hours. I mean, you got
I mean,
45 minutes.
3 hours in one night.
Well, that's why I said it should have been a full season because I mean, like you said, it was like with. I mean, I told AJ like it's just this is the let's say the Dixie Carter era of TNA is is the glacier, is the iceberg, and then what Anthem did recently is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, yeah, Anthem did some shady shit, but nothing compared to what Dixie did. Dix Dixie did some horrible things, but in the both episodes, Jeff Jarrett comes out looking pretty good. Like the guy, like I started ever since watching his podcast with with Conrad Thompson, you realize how actually a good guy he really is.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't know Jeff Jarrett personally. I mean, I just seen him wrestle and do like the my
Mm,
world on YouTube, but he seems like a okay guy. I mean, it's fucked up that you take another wrestler's wife, but I mean,
well, they were saying that Jeff. No, I agree, but they were saying that Karen Angle was already and legally separated at that time, and he wasn't
yeah.
She
trying to
also
act.
claimed it was a wrestling storyline as well,
Yet
supposedly.
she was pregnant with Kurt Angle's kid when she left and got with Jeff Jarrett. Like, bro, how are you gonna be a single? How are you gonna date a single mom like her while the fucking father of her child is in the ring? I just don't
I
understand that.
don't,
Like, that's weird.
uh,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
pregnant, but let's get together. What the fuck?
I don't know. That is
It's
weird,
weird.
but like, I'm not gonna lie. I told this to AJ before we started this. I sent this text message. Usually, I avoid saying this word, but they made Dixie Carter look like a cunt. like and you know what? And he brought up a good
She
point
is.
because she is, and
She
she
deserves
is.
every bit that they made her look like it. She is
Hmm.
in fact one because you literally brought in the cancer that killed one company and you brought them into another company to kill. Not to mention, you're a
Hmm.
fucking money mark, just like Tony Khan. You're a fucking money mark. You
I
you,
mean, look where
you
she came
literally
from.
drove that
Money.
company in. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. She just threw
Yeah.
money at fucking TNA and thought she was going to be the figurehead and the president and all this shit. She was going to run
Hmm.
a fucking wrestling company when, bitch, you don't know shit about wrestling. You know
Oh,
nothing.
I mean, that's why she should be the person who's like the president, the figurehead, while
Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett's really running the show because
I wouldn't even
or
yeah.
put her as figurehead anywhere.
No, she should have been like Ted Turner and just fucking funded the promotion and then
Hmm.
eventually get thrown out of the company as a whole. That's what should have happened.
uh,
You should have never fucking stuck your hands in a business that you don't know anything about. Ted Turner never did that with WCW. He let Eric
Ted
Bischoff
Turner
and
only had
Dr.
well,
Schiller.
Ted Turner only had the blank checks, and that was it. Blank
Exactly.
checks and the
That's what
TV
Dixie
deals.
Carter. Exactly.
well,
That's
let's
what
not.
Dixie Carter should have did.
Well, hold on. Let's not go too far because me and we're actually still talking about episode one, and that's pretty much into
Right.
episode two.
Right.
So, before we went pause real quick, we're bringing up how we already talked about six-sided ring, but they bring up how they had the X division, pretty much the evolution of the cruiserweights from WCW and ECW. So I
Did they
mean,
have
I felt
cruiserweights in ECW?
kind of. I mean, a lot of the
Okay.
cruiserweights.
I mean, ECW, it's like cruiserweights had Rey Mysterio and Psychosis at one point.
Yeah,
They just didn't
I
have
mean,
a belt for it.
exactly. They
Mm,
didn't have a cruiserweight division, but they had cruiserweights. I mean, obviously, you had Jericho, you had Benoit, you had Dean
pretty much all
Malenko.
WCW guys.
Yeah, and a lot of the cruiserweights, they just didn't have a lightweight or cruiserweight championship belt, but
Yeah.
they pretty much came from ECW, then moved to WCW under the cruiserweight uh, division. So this was just pretty much the evolution of the cruiserweights, and I think it needed to go there because I mean it made it. I know there's some people like Bruce Pritchard and Jim Cornette doesn't like the X division because they're like, "What is the X division?" Like Bruce Pritchard's like, "Please explain what the X division is," and they people would say it's no weight limit. It's no but it's kind of like it's like the X it's like the X Games. It's kind of like that. So and it's about the cruiserweights, but it doesn't have to rely just on the cruiserweights because I mean Samoa Joe is not a cruiserweight, so he was an X Division champion.
You could sure as
Yeah.
hell move like a cruiserweight, though. That's for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for a big
definitely.
man like him, he
Yeah.
moved like a cruiserweight.
No, I
Ultimate
agree.
X was really good of a
Oh yeah,
concept.
I agree. I think that's something they did really good. I mean, first it was just ring ropes, and then I think they finally changed it over to like structures because I think people are getting sick of trying to climb with the ropes, like getting when they can just climb up the structure. But I actually
That I
like
don't
that.
know.
I believe that's what it is. But
Because every time I seen Ultimate X, it was the ropes and they climbed it and you get the big red X and you claim that
oh
you win
yeah,
the X Division title.
I think that's early stages. Let me
Yeah,
go to Google real quick and the Ultimate X match. Trying to bring it up. Yeah, like there's one right here. Let me bring this up real quick. Right there. See? That's what I'm talking about right there. Let me
yeah,
see
that
if
was like 2000, like
there we
10.
go. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Well, it's also still had ring ropes though too, but I thought they had
Yeah,
the structures, but they had the ring ropes right there though too.
Wasn't this
So
structure discontinued because someone had apparently died from it or some shit?
no,
someone
I
Someone
almost
got
broke their
stuck
neck.
in.
That's what I thought.
That's what
I
I'm
don't.
saying. They got
They
stuck with their neck in between the upper ropes or some
I
shit.
I didn't hear that, but I could be wrong.
I could be
But
wrong too. I could be remembering that wrong. I don't know.
I don't know
but
why they
I
stopped doing Ultimate X. I thought it was an innovative idea, honestly. That's just
was
like the
trying to.
what was it? The Six Sides of Steel. It was like the cage match for the
Mm,
yeah, that was a really good concept too. TNA came up with a lot of good concepts.
I'm trying to find a better picture. Let me see if I can zoom into this
I
one right
mean,
here.
in my opinion, if
Uh,
when we get to part three about this next week, they better talk about like the crowd chanting "We want six sides," referring to the ring.
Yeah.
Oh
See,
yeah,
here's
Or
yeah,
talk
that's
more
the
one.
one
than
I
what he said
remember.
about the six-sided ring.
I try to zoom in there, but it wouldn't let me zoom closer.
Yeah, that's the
So
original one I remember.
So I couldn't find a better picture right now, or like a little closer one. But yeah, that's I remember that one, and like I said, the strut. I believe I saw structures, but like maybe it is they had the structures and then they had the ring rope below it. I
Yeah,
guess
because
that's
see,
what it
even with the four side, if you click that one top one, the one you see where suicide is, go up one.
on. All right, hold on.
Yeah, right here, that
Yeah,
video. If you don't click on the video, but just click on the image.
I can't.
Well, that one I remember because
Because
that was the NWA TNA days. That was just after the merger was over with NWA TNA. I remember that because they
I'm
were still
actually
using the
surprised they didn't
WCW
talk
ring.
about some of the champions, like Ron Killings, NWA champion,
Oh
Ken
yeah, dude.
Shamrock, inaugural NWA champion for TNA.
Yep, yep. Oh, there's so many, man.
yeah,
AJ Styles won his first NWA TNA championship with that. I mean,
Hmm They showcase AJ
you said
Styles a little bit for the X Division.
yeah, but I mean, how do you not put the figurehead of TNA, Mr. TNA himself? That's what I don't understand.
who AJ?
Yeah, AJ is like the Sting of
Uh,
TNA.
yeah, but
What Sting was for
he
WCW.
well, WWE doesn't like doing things right now with Dark Side of the Ring, and yeah, he just retired, but he's still signed under WWE under the Legends contract, so he's not doing anything like that
Mick
right now.
Foley's Legends contract ended like a couple, just literally days ago or a week ago.
A couple weeks ago, because he's been on with AEW now,
Hmm
Hmm.
but yeah, so want to show off what that looks like with the X divisions. Let me
Yeah.
bring up where's my okay. Then they brought up the good point. You had the knockout division, so they were pretty much started the whole upgrading the women from the Brown Panty era to where they were actually athletic and wrestling.
hmm
Yeah,
So I mean, so they were actually trying to make them more legitimate, like because
yeah,
before that time, I didn't take that shit serious because exactly because of the brown panties era.
I
Because I'm like,
mean, let's think about it like this. Gail Kim had a job in WWE because Vince never heard of Asian porn at one point. That's initially why she was hired, from what I heard.
I don't
God
know.
damn, pal.
Jim Ross introduced Vince McMahon to Asian porn, rumored, allegedly. And that's why she was hired. And her first night, she's WWE Women's Champion because the
Uh,
initial champion was hurt in the gauntlet match that she was in.
mm But they definitely did uh, made the women wrestlers more legitimate before
Hmm
WWE. Like years, like I would tell almost like 5 years before WWE thought about doing it. Like
They had a good, like, about 10 years before the women's revolution even kicked off to me.
oh, I was giving them a little. I was being a little generous. But yeah, it was pretty much they were talking about episode one is like I was telling AJ, it was they fast tracked through Jeff Jarrett's career, and then the beginnings of TNA. They're saying that the early struggles and uh, their concepts, and a lot of them honestly are still here today, like the X divisions, and now the knockouts actually just recently just got a new belt in their division. It's the knockouts TV championship belt, so it's their mid card title now.
Mm.
So I'm like, hey, you know what? That makes sense. I mean, I always thought like, see, WWE. I think they need definitely to get rid of. Uh, they need to unify the two women's world titles because, and just have the women's WWE championship, and then maybe just keep the United States belt on one show and the Intercontinental on the other show, and just have the tag team belts just float through all the brands under the WWE umbrella because there's not enough women for to have the tag team championships. So at least TNA, I can understand why they would have a mid card title for the women. But
No, no, I agree. But the only thing I don't understand is why does WWE and AEW in general both need so many titles? I don't
Because
get it.
everyone wants to feel special. That's why.
Well, I'm sorry, this is
Everyone wants to
wrestling. You
feel like
don't
they're the
get to feel
top
special.
thing in their companies.
well, WWE really does overdo it. I mean, you have two world titles. I mean, because Raw and SmackDown needs to have they both need to have a world title, and then they both have tag team belts. And like when they really need to unify the tag team belts because there's almost no tag teams in the WWE.
You also
The
have to remember they have the Evolve brand as well, where like some of
Yeah,
their NXT guys are on Evolve on Wednesday
yeah.
nights,
No,
Wednesday
that's
afternoon.
what.
Sorry.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like for the women, they could take the women's tag team belt to even the Evolve, so it doesn't
Hmm.
have to be like they could always bring people from one to another brand under the umbrella.
Remember when they were first introduced and Bailey and Sasha won them? They were actually defending them on NXT across all three brands at one
Yeah.
point. Then they lost
Now,
them to the Iconics.
but so yeah, I do think WWE is definitely the biggest uh guilty company for that. Now, yeah, I made fun of AEW when they started making new belts all the time, and it's because when I was starting to hear they're thinking about having a father son tag team belts that end up not coming to for coming to real life. But like there was rumors it was called like was it intergenerational tag team championships? Even though there's no father and son tag there's only one father and son in AEW. It's Billy Gunn and his two kids. That is it. So there's
The
no
ass
reason,
boys.
yeah, the ass boys. So there's no reason to have that. At But WWE having two world champions, two women world champions, two mid card titles for the men, two mid card titles for the women, um, two tag teams for the men, tag teams for the women. Like, yeah, there's way too much. They need to unify some of that shit.
Yeah,
Like, and they won't because both Netflix are gonna want a champion and USA wants a champion. So that's why a lot of times you have all these belts, though too. So it's not just a WWE problem or an AEW problem. It's a wrestling problem.
The territories had it right back in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, early,
Essentially, that's what
I
we're
think,
coming to. The territories were actually the right way to go. That's the
uh,
world. That's where we're actually coming to.
honestly, if it wasn't Vince McMahon, it was going to be someone else. It looked like it was. If it wasn't Vince, it was going to be Jim Jim Crockett, or it was going to be Vern Gagne from the AWA, because those guys were eventually heading that direction. Vince just cut them, uh, beat them to the beat them to the punch first. So it's not like if Vince wasn't there, that none of this would have happened. Something would have been as big as today, probably not, but it would someone would have done something like this. I mean,
No, it's
I think
true.
I think wrestling would always be a thing. Like, I mean, God, look, AEW came out of nowhere. I mean, look at TNA. TNA came out, and Ring of Honor came out of the vacuum, power vacuum of WCW and ECW. Like if
Well, yeah,
he's
I mean, I agree with you on that one because TNA came out from the ashes of WCW. Everything that you saw at WC, because there was a lot of
yeah,
WCW stars that didn't go to WWE after the buyout that you
yeah,
seen right after, like 2002. You seen
mhm,
Sting there. You seen
yeah.
Lex Luger. You seen Macho Man. You seen fuck DDP was there.
Mhm.
I shit a whole bunch of them.
And I considered, like, yeah, I thought I looked at the TNA like WCW. Well,
Exactly, that's what it
as
was.
Ring and Ring of Honor was ECW, and it's not because Ring of Honor was having extreme wrestling; it's because they were innovative as well, though. Too. I mean, that's
But
why
we
I
all
looked
know
at.
the reason why, at this point, why Macho Man was never brought back to WWE like most of those names from the at the
Well, because the
WCW
incident.
close.
What incident?
You know, the rumor of him and allegedly
Stephanie
Stephanie
McMahon.
McMahon.
Yeah, oh, come
Yeah.
on, that was a rumor. You know that didn't really happen.
Why
It's
is he
I
not in the Hall of
mean,
Fame?
it's still a viable reason that he could be
no.
fired over.
I'm sure that
Still
if
to
it
this
was
day, people talk about it. Until we
see
get
the
viable evidence or confirmation from Stephanie, more than
it's
likely it happened.
no. I'm gonna
Unless we
say
get
more.
confirmation from Stephanie McMahon herself, we'll never know.
We'll never know, and I'm gonna say it's a rumor because I mean, gosh, Vince ain't gonna say anything.
I
Macho
mean,
Man can't.
Bret Hart went on a tangent, said that like Shawn Michaels and Vince were in a sexual relationship with each other at one point.
See,
I'm not joking. He actually said that
no,
recently.
I know.
It's Casey's face. That's what I'm laughing about.
But I'm just saying is just we have no proof of any of this is truly happened.
Hmm.
Like so like that's why I'm like what incident? I'm like so uh the only incident like I know why Vince doesn't like is that uh I'm sure Macho Man left the WWF high and dry to go WCW. So he probably didn't like that.
Yeah, but Macho
And
wanted to wrestle. Vince didn't want him to wrestle. He wanted him to be a
yeah,
Exactly.
commentator. He
no,
was like, "Fuck
exactly.
this."
No, I
The
agree.
last known pay per view match Macho Man had was like what, WrestleMania 10 or something with Crush.
Was it
Yeah.
10? I thought it was
Well,
9.
No,
no,
that's it because
no,
he was
was
in a storyline with Crush over like that led to that initial
yeah,
Last Man
yeah,
Standing match.
Oh,
you're
okay.
correct. Yeah,
The
you're correct.
original Last Man Standing match that we now know as a Texas Death Match.
Uh huh.
Mm. Well,
Because you had to
hold on,
ping your opponent, then make sure they couldn't beat it to count of 10.
didn't they like have him hanged up by his feet?
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was like,
because he couldn't beat it count of 10 to get back to the ring.
but by the way, that match sucked though too.
Exactly.
But I still want to know why Macho's not in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the
Oh,
Hall of
he's
Fame.
in the
He
Hall of
is in the
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
He is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, I guess I
2015.
didn't. Oh, was
he
it?
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
he
you
was
gotta
in.
understand, I'm not a mark like y'all anymore.
all
You
good,
know what
all
I
good.
mean?
He got put in a couple, like what, a couple months after his accident.
I thought he died
No,
way
he was
before that. He died in
No, I
2011.
thought he died in 2014.
Mm-mm,
I
2011. He
don't know.
crashed his
Oh,
car
2011.
into a
Yeah,
light
it was
into a
4 years
pole.
later, right?
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
put Ultimate
he had
Warrior
a
in
seizure or
like
some shit.
at before he died. Yeah,
it was a few
Yeah.
years after because
yeah, four
Lance,
years later.
but
That's my fault.
he
He had his
told, but
brother
let
accept his induction speech.
And that's why I didn't see it.
well,
Yeah,
here's the
Lanny
thing.
Poffo. And mind you, they spelled his name with one N. His brother,
Hmm.
Lanny Poffo, had his name spelled with one N when they were
Okay,
showing off the Hall of Famers on
uh,
Mania.
they fuck that shit up every once in a while. Like
The man was
that.
on their payroll at one point as the genius Lanny Poffo.
I
How do they
know, but
fuck that up?
it's a technical fuck up. It's people on from the production truck. So they're the ones who fucked that up.
The production
Uh,
truck. Then again, who was running the production truck during those days? Kevin Dunn.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying shit happens.
Yeah, I know.
He's
But
got to stay face for the
we're hold
company.
on. But we're getting way off course.
Yes,
Okay.
we have.
Let's get back on. So yeah, that's pretty much episode one. Like I said, they fast tracked through Jeff Jarrett's career and then the early
Mhm.
stages of TNA and then what they came up with. So with episode two, they pretty much TNA's growth phase where obviously they didn't bring up really talk about Christian Cage because they always considered him at first saying he was their biggest uh get at the time, and it was true because they pushed him pretty damn fast to the NWA World Title.
Yeah.
Yep.
But to me, like they said, their biggest get was Kurt Angle,
Oh,
and
absolutely. He was in his prime.
yeah, when it happened, because he just begged Vince to be released because he was saying he was having problems. So, but it was what's funny is like how fast he went when he got the release. How fast he went straight to TNA. So, how bad were those problems when inside a month he was with TNA? You know. So like I but it was like I couldn't believe it when I saw it because it was like, no, no way. That was the biggest shock I got from him. So, and honestly, you guys probably know that Kurt Angle actually was in TNA way longer than his WWE run.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, I think Kurt Angle's run in TNA was better than his WWF run. Honest, in my just that's just my opinion. But I mean, WWE was stupid to let him go. But I
Hmm.
mean, Kurt obviously was unhappy with WWE and the way
And
they
he
were going.
also
I mean,
developed
hell,
that painkiller addiction.
yeah.
Yeah.
But think about it this
And
way
then,
too. Beforehand, he went to ECW and seen what they were doing because ECW and WWF were working
oh,
together. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, the
I
well,
mean,
WWE CW brand. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, they were working
Well, here's,
together.
see, the thing was, you know, I mean, he wanted out. Like, he was getting burnt out. Like, th- did they want him to actually not only that when he was saying that his health was really going down. I mean, dude, they just be, shortly before they just lost Eddie Guerrero in '05.
Hmm. Yeah.
He left and Kurt Angle left in '06. So
Hmm.
and then look what happened the year after that. You know what happened in '07?
Benoit.
Yeah, the Benoit.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, Vince was taking this shit serious. So when was seeing uh, Kurt was having problems, and he just got done dealing with Eddie's death, and then obviously the whole thing with, like you said, Brian Pillman died. You had the whole thing with,
Yeah, but Brian
uh,
Pillman was 97.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was a long time
well,
ago.
yeah, but it was drug related though too, and then at
No,
that
we
time,
never really found out if it was drug related or not because he wanted to make sure that it was drug related because he didn't want to be held accountable for it. That's why, according because I remember from the Dark Side of the Ring episode about that, his widow actually said she didn't want to bring up the drug use, and immediately on
Mhm.
TV he brings up the drug use to her. So he
Yeah,
put her on the spot immediately
mhm.
on Raw.
But also at
But
that
she took the
time,
money though.
yeah. Well, no, but Vince was an asshole though too to do that. But and you could see her face when he said that she was telling the truth that at that time when he asked her about that. Like, I mean, you could tell she was upset when he said that.
She was caught
But
off guard and upset. Yeah.
yeah, but you also at in 2000, like in the early 2000s, you know what was happening all the time? It would seem like every other week was happening all the time during that time
Wrestlers are
frame.
dying. They're
Yeah,
dropping.
wrestlers. Yeah, they were
Dropping like
dropping.
flies.
Yeah, until till before the Benoit tragedies, they were dropping like flies for years.
Yeah. Did you
Hmm
know
It
in
was
2007 you
mhm,
lost Knobs and you lost fucking Sherry Martel in the same month before Benoit, that same month in June before Benoit committed those murders.
mhm.
Yeah,
So,
think about that way.
but I'm just saying, it's like, so, I mean, they didn't really take drugs as a huge deal with the drug testing until after the Benoit tragedies. So they
I
were
mean,
finally
the
had,
text conversations with Nancy and Benoit were just insane to think about. Even she said the wellness policy was a joke
oh, yeah,
in the text messages to her own husband.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they know it was a joke. So, I mean, obviously, when he died, they had to tie it up. And obviously, they definitely made a difference because wrestlers are not dying left and right under the WWE watch, or the people like who was also worked with the WWE before. If they have drug issues, they can go to rehab with the WWE dime. I don't know if that's still today since TKO has taken over. You kind of hope they still do that, but I don't know since ever since TKO took over, you know?
Hmm
No, I
But
agree.
but let's go back to we keep kind of getting sidetracked. So yeah, TNA had their growth phases where obviously, like I said, you had Christian Cage, you had Kurt Angle, Booker T. I know both Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came in before that time though too, around that time as
Scott Hall
well.
came in 2002, right after the whole NWO botch. Because I remember
Yeah.
he
hmm
pulled the same stunt in like he did in WCW.
So those two were in there in and out, and they had that stupid angle with Jeff Jarrett. They're in a Cadillac and saying the king of wrestling, and they were acting like they were dressing up like a
That was a
Elvis
joke.
imperson Elvis impersonators.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was horrible.
You
But
forgot to talk about the Johnsons in the first episode too.
well, I mean, I didn't think we had to, but I mean, yeah, I mean, we
Wasn't
kind
that
of
your
talked
favorite
about
tag team, right?
no, they're not my favorite. That was horrible. But you know
Seeing
what?
seeing James Mitchell describe that, knowing who he was friends with at the time,
Mm,
makes me think that like Chris Kanyon would have enjoyed the fuck out of that tag team,
I don't know.
considering that
But
he was gay to begin with.
well, yeah. But see, the thing is, WWE, see, no promotion really doesn't fuck up like that. I mean, God, NWA did that, WCW did that, WWF slash WWE done that. So, I mean,
I'm just waiting for
I really,
AEW to have it, a midget with a gun or someone come out on Turner with a gun. You imagine that
yeah,
shit? They'll get pulled real
no,
quick.
oh yeah, but
I mean, yeah, true.
but so let's see, yeah, they're growing fast when they went to Spike TV, and right here it says increasing internal chaos and power struggle and scandals. So honestly, they're talking about how their introductions of Dixie Carter, the Carter family, and the Panda Energy era, where um, Dixie Carter. This is right before uh, Jeff lost all his funding, where he had to go and try and find someone. While he found out one of the people that was working for him, her parents was multi-millionaires with Panda Energy. So that's why uh, she went and asked her daddy for money to get her a wrestling company so she can be the president. So she
Hold on,
the
I gotta say, you gotta say it correctly, Casey. How AJ Styles would say it. Dixie
what?
Carter's daddy bought her a wrestling company.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's true because I mean they would call it her vanity project, and I agree. That's what it really is. She didn't really take this shit serious. Like, I mean, she did, but she didn't have the heart of it because she was not really a real promoter. She was not like a Vince McMahon, a Paul Heyman, an Eric Bischoff, or even like at least Tony Khan. Yeah, you want to call him a money mark, but at least he has passion and he knows his wrestling. And but while Dixie Carter, like she probably doesn't know any wrestling moves or matches. She'll probably know the wrestlers, but she couldn't tell what would be a good idea for a wrestling match at all as a promoter because she has no idea. I still don't think even now I believe she's a 5% ownership of TNA. I don't think she still has an idea about wrestling. I'm sure she wished she's still the owner. She wanted 100% ownership of the company because she wanted to run that because she felt like she had to buy a company so she can run it. Because, I mean, I think she was running a PR firm at the time, but God, she was horrible, man. But honestly, because the money that she brought in, she was pushed as the figurehead slash um, the president of TNA wrestling.
Hold
Well,
on. First, you gotta say it's daddy's money, not her money.
yeah, daddy's money, Bob, Bob Carter's money, but and Jane Carter, I heard, is a bitch as well too. But the Carter family, I hear, is pretty much trash. They're assholes, apparently.
I don't know. I that's purely speculation. That's the opinions of Casey is wrong. Sue them or sue him.
Ah, fuck it. What I doubt they'll even do that. They don't know I'm here, but
He's the
but
midget in the fucking trash can masturbating. Get him.
but
And that same midget coming back to the ring with a gun.
so yeah, there was the power struggle because obviously she was starting to get power hungry. Like instead of just being like you said, she should have been the Ted Turner. She should have been the money mark who was there to say yes or no on hiring someone and let Jeff Jarrett run the show and have the look over of Dutch Mantel and Vince Russo's creative writing, and that's what they should have done. But honestly, Dixie Carter just wanted to keep getting more and more power to the point where um, let's see where we're at. Yeah, we're pretty much another bullet point is where Jeff Jarrett's personal relationship with Kurt Angle and in the show saying that uh Karen Angle was already legally separated from Kurt Angle. So, I mean, I've dated a woman who was separated from her wife, from her husband, but they weren't divorced, and they're still not divorced. But they don't want. She doesn't want anything to do with him, but they're still technically married. But I never wanted to be part of someone's marriage. Anytime like I hate to be in the middle of someone's marriage. I don't want to be breaking someone's marriage up at all.
A home
Like
wrecker.
homewrecker, be a homewrecker. Like like if you're separated, that's fine. Then like, hey, that's obviously something already happened. You know, I'm not trying to like create a, a divide. So the way how I believed it for the longest time, yeah, I thought Jeff Jarrett went after Kurt Angle's wife, but I mean now growing up, like I can't just assume, you know. But from Karen Angle's side, she said they were already legally separated. So to me, I think that's okay because they don't want to be together, and obviously they want to move on. You know.
Right, I get that, but she's carrying Kurt's kid when they split up. That's
Okay.
the
I mean,
weird thing. Yeah, that's
oh,
what she said. She said she was pregnant with Kurt's kid and she left. That was the third because Kurt's got three girls with him.
mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure it's not the
Yeah.
first or the last time that ever happened. Like someone gets
Oh, yeah, I know
pregnant
that,
and
but
then,
I'm saying it's just weird.
oh, it is weird. I'm not. That's why when I like for me when in the dating scene when women like I'm 44 years old. Would I like to be in a relationship with a woman with no kids? Yes, that's the biggest plus. But being how
Right.
old I am now, I can't be like be ignorant and think that saying nope, you gotta have no children. It like it just be me and you. Like I can't just say that because then I'm holding a high bar that I know that I probably can't get to it anymore because I mean I'm
If you
44
got
years
money, you
old.
can.
Yeah, if you have money, I don't have money, but
You could find a 28-year-old to, breed with.
yeah,
Should no be no problem.
but
They're fertile at that time. That's the best time, literally.
yeah,
From
no,
like
thank you.
24 to like 28 is like perfect breeding. There you go.
But it is weird, like now my age, like when I have women that I talk to, and then they tell me that they're at my age or slightly older that they're already grandparents. Like I think about
Are
it,
you
it's like,
kidding
hold
me?
on, no, they'll be like 40+ year old and they're already grandparents. I'm like, hold on. So you got to think like that means you must have had this child like super early, probably in your between your teens and your early 20s, and then that child went around and did the exact same thing immediately when they became either a teen or in their early 20s for you to be in your 40s and have a child, you know?
Monkey see, monkey do. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest. I
But
mean,
I'm
come
like,
on. Our generation, that was common, dude. Because you got to remember, they had
yeah,
that whole 16 and pregnant show, and what do
yeah,
you think? A
that's
lot of
true.
the offspring.
That's true. That's true. I mean, God, I was in a
I
classroom
went to high
where
school with a pregnant girl, dude. I've
I did
seen
too.
girls in high school pregnant. Oh, you did too?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
I've had two
yeah.
high school students. I had two
Dude,
high school buddies that I knew in high school were pregnant.
dude,
Oh, wow. Same here.
I went to
They all had their
school.
kids during school year too.
I went to the school, one of
Yeah.
the biggest schools in the country at that time. Like my class had over 1,000 people in my class.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like
Wait, your high school
yeah,
graduation year was a
yeah,
thousand? Damn.
yeah. Like we were at that time was in the top 5 high schools.
Okay.
So like yeah, and they just eventually went up and up and up. At that time, it was the biggest number of people in that class. So, but because I would hear the previous years like 900, so we had a lot of kids that went to our high school. But but we always getting sidetracked. So let's
It's like
go
episode
ahead.
Saturday is Raw.
Yeah, shit. So it was because we were talking about the whole thing with Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle, and I was
Yeah.
hearing that on Bruce Pritchard's podcast, he was talking about when he went to TNA, and he wanted to bring up about the whole thing with Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Kurt Angle, and Karen Angle because that whole thing was happening,
Hmm.
and I believe Dixie Carter told him that will never happen because that whole thing was going on. And also, I think, or she relayed that to Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff relayed that to um, Bruce Pritchard when he fought that up. So, I mean, honestly, there was a lot of feeling, and honestly, I mean, what they were saying that Karen Angle was going around with Jeff Jarrett at that time during parties when they were together. So they were saying that it was pretty obvious that they were together. And what according to Karen Jarrett, that Dixie Carter knew about the situation between about her and Kurt. They were separated. That it was Dixie knew about that, and Jeff knew about that, and I think Vince Russo knew about that. So, like the higher ups knew that her and Kurt Angle was separated. So when Dixie Carter went to a party that Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle or Karen Jarrett was hosting, and she was the last person to find out, and was playing it up, saying, "Oh, it was so nice that you guys got together." And then she turned around and, talking shit about that behind their backs to apparently Vince Russo. And then they showed the footage I guess to the oh yeah, it was Bubba the Love Sponge where you had someone under a voice changer because I guess if someone was working with TNA and they were all shocked that Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle was together and that Dixie Carter was pissed. So I was like, and now we're starting to see the shades of Dixie Carter pretty much being the cunt that she really is. Any thoughts?
No, I mean, honestly, we know who Dixie Carter is and what she is and how she
Mm.
conducts herself, and she is not professional at all.
She knows how to work her as like, hey, look at me. I'm all professional on TV. Like I'm trying to look good on there until she was playing the heel. Like she was trying to be the mix between Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon at the same time. At the very end of the Spike TV run.
Let me ask you this,
So
Casey. Okay, look at Dixie Carter. Her daddy bought her a wrestling company, right? Okay,
yeah,
imagine if Vince, in his prime, gave WWF to Stephanie McMahon, not knowing she knows nothing about the business, right? What do you think WWE would be right now if it would even? Okay, in the war, let's go back to say when
yeah,
WCW is kicking WWF's ass, right?
yeah.
Vince says, "Here, Stephanie, you can have WWF." They would they would
Oh,
have instantly died.
oh
That's
yeah.
the same thing as TNA right now at this point that
Well,
we're talking about.
it'd been probably the same thing with Shane too, because Shane was still
Shane has a
learning.
better mind for the business than Stephanie
Slight,
does.
he slightly has the better mind for it. Yeah, he was in there a little longer than Stephanie, but like I don't know. I mean, yes, it would have been the death knell of the WWF
Of
slash
course.
WWE if if he would just hand it off to Shane or Stephanie at that time because Vince still needed to be the head because at that time he really needed to. Stephanie and Shane both still need seasoning before they were gonna take over. And obviously when you had Triple H in the waiting apparently and when Triple H was showing that he has interest behind the scenes, so they started grooming him to be executive eventually, you know?
No, I get,
So
I
like
get. But what I'm making the point of is Dixie Carter is if Stephanie did the same thing Dixie Carter did, WWE would not exist anymore. Just like
oh
TNA, pretty
mm,
much. I'm fucking shocked because it seems like TNA is like the cockroach that won't die.
oh yeah, there's you know how many
They
times
were
I thought
along. They've been around longer than WCW
yeah,
ever existed.
and the
Because you got to remember,
ECW too.
WCW was yeah, but I mean ECW was that pissant company. Let's be honest. I'm sorry to tell you. I know you're ECW
Oh,
mark.
and TNA is a pissant company though too. So
It lasted longer than both of those companies, and it's still around to this day.
yeah, but it's
And it
like you
was
said,
the number two company after ECW and WCW went away.
okay,
So
yes, technically, but it was so a distant second. There could have been so many WCWs. Like you could put a fit another WCW into that spot where a how big a distance between the WWE and TNA was. TNA
yeah,
became a hybrid of WCW and a WWE light. Especially they became more like that during the Hogan era. It was
Well,
more like,
that definitely was. But I'm talking about the beginning of TNA.
mm,
You seen what it could have been, but then when Dixie got her fucking hands on it,
mm,
completely fucking destroyed the company from the fucking inside out. It's
oh yeah,
exact. That's
because
the point I was getting at. If with the whole Dixie Carter running TNA, was if
mm,
Vince would have gave it to Stephanie, the company would have
mm,
fucking imploded and died. That's what I was trying to get at.
well,
You
they did
don't
that.
give fucking certain people power of a company because they will fucking destroy it.
Well, look, they did when they
I
finally
know.
exiled Jeff Jarrett. I mean, honestly, Dixie had a full power after that. Like
Yeah,
took
and look who
over
she
where,
brought in.
well, she got rid of all Jeff Jarrett's people and just kept Vince. And like, you honestly, you need a group of people to come up with good ideas, and sometimes you need to bring someone else into the pot. Sometimes you need
Yeah,
someone new with not always say new ideas, but someone throw something in there, but maybe with a new idea, but a twist of it, because it's kind of like how Vince McMahon had his inner circle for the longest time. That
yeah.
was like,
Pat Patterson and
yeah,
Jerry Briscoe. Yeah.
yeah, with those guys, and yeah, you added a couple people here and there, like God, the, the guy Don Hendricks, Doc Hendricks, I'm
Oh,
trying to
Doc
remember.
Hendricks.
Yeah, trying to remember is Michael Hayes. There you go.
Yeah,
You finally bring Michael Hayes in, but
Freebird.
when you have the same few people spitballing ideas, and when they're in their 50s and 60s and 70s, they're gonna keep throwing out ideas that worked back during their heyday. Like, it's not always going to work out. Eventually, you need some new blood to come in. It's like, hey, maybe we can do something like this.
Yeah,
And see, I think, but that's kind of why with AEW, you have too much of a new blood. Sometimes you need someone in there. It's like, hey, maybe we could uh, focus on this a little bit right here, though. Too, you need the mixture of both. You need someone who's been in the business season long, but you still need new blood in there to run it
I
properly.
get it. I get what you're saying, but the way
Mm.
Dixie Carter handled it,
Oh,
and then bringing in the two toxic cancers, not to mention you bring in those two. I'm sorry, I know I was a WCW guy, but after what happened, it
mm.
it gives me the wrong thing, and then you bring their buddies in as the band. You fucking killed another company. I'm sorry. You bring in Bischoff and Hogan. They think, oh, we're gonna skyrocket and be the fucking next WCW. You were already the next WCW. You didn't need to bring Hogan and Bischoff in. Not to mention you brought in back in Hall and Nash in six, and
I
all they did was did the same fucking
mm.
bullshit, and they destroyed another company. They're company killers. I'm sorry. They are what they are.
Well, you don't have to apologize to me. You're the WCW guy.
I know
But
that, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, did I think the whole NWO thing when it first started in WCW was cool? Yeah, of course. It was innovating. Everybody fucking wanted to watch WCW. But if you really pay attention, those guys I just mentioned, they were
mm,
WWE guys that came and fucking destroyed that company.
well, I
Even
heard.
Nash will tell you that himself. He was a WWE guy, even though he started in WCW. Same way with with Hall, and Six started
I
with WWF, but they
Yeah.
were all WWE guys that went down from New York to Atlanta to destroy that company. Just like They went from New York down to Tennessee and destroyed another company.
See,
They did.
uh, well, I do think they tried to help. Honestly, I might be uh, ignorant, but I kn- I kind of trust a little bit what Bruce Pritchard says sometimes because sometimes what he brings up sounds right. And what he said is that he believed that Hogan and Bischoff tried their best to make TNA this a good show, a good brand, that they didn't just try to come in and milk the company out. And by the way, it was proven that Hogan was not getting paid by TNA. He was getting paid by Spike TV. Most of the
Yeah.
big time wrestlers was not getting paid by TNA. They were getting paid by TNA, not by Spike TV, because when they need a little help with financing getting a wrestler, they go to Spike and say, "Hey, we like to get this guy for the show, but we need a little help with the money. Would you guys fork in the cash so we can bring in like people like Sting,
Well, Sting
Hogan,
has
and
been there the whole time. From 2002, he was there.
he was in out from the beginning, but after I think 2003 or 4, he was in there for the long haul."
Oh yeah, yeah, because he liked what TNA was doing, so he was like, "Well, I might as well stick around."
Yeah, but but like Bishop, no, Hogan, and even Bruce Pritchard said that they were being paid by Spike, not TNA. So it's not like they were really milking TNA out of all their money. So I mean, I do agree bringing people like the Nasty Boys who are way past their prime
Oh
when they
yeah,
joined. Yeah, Ric Flair, I, I I I was okay with that because
the
hey, he's
woo
a
off.
name, yeah, the Rua, but he's still a Ric Flair still had a good name at that time. You know, he just came off a great run in the WWE with a great fanfare uh, farewell with his WrestleMania 24 match with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
So he was still had a good name. But yes, they brought in a bunch of people but they brought in Rob Van Dam
yeah,
and they brought back Jeff Jarrett. I mean Jeff Hardy. I mean
yeah. The Hardy
you
Boys. They brought in
yeah.
Team 3D, which was good.
No,
Sandman.
I think Team 3D already was in there before that. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think they
that
came
was
in like 07, 08.
yeah. It was right after um One Night Stand too when they joined.
Yeah, yeah,
But so yeah, it was I do agree them bringing in certain people. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they were still was a name. And if they were worked the band a little bit better, it could have probably worked. But I mean, they didn't know how to work that. But when they brought in Val Venus, I'm like, okay, this is just stupid.
yeah,
Like, yeah, they were bringing in too many people who were ex WWE guys when they still had a great crop in TNA that now they're putting it on the back burner, like AJ
exactly.
Styles.
They're
But
homegrown talent. You
yeah,
just threw it away. You had Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Awesome Red. You had fucking America's Most Wanted. You had uh, Bl- uh Beer Money Incorporate. You had uh Black Machismo, Jay Lethal. You had Suicide. You had
mm,
all these great wrestlers, even the knockout division. You had the beautiful people all in, Awesome Kong,
mm,
ODB. You put them all on the back burner. because you
Oh,
wanted WWE stars, which was fucking stupid. Your homegrown
oh,
talent is what you base on. Fuck those WWE guys. They don't mean shit. You just
I.
use them.
By the way, when Austin Kong was on there, she saying that she had no idea that Jeff Jarrett was running the show. I call bullshit on that
Yeah, I call bullshit on that too.
because I'm like, hold on, like I doubt she went to Dixie Carter to get a contract. I'm pretty sure that it was Jeff Jarrett and his people went to go talk to Awesome Kong to get her because at that time she was a big deal. Because at before she went to TNA, she was actually going to go for the NWA World Heavyweight title. That just right after Christian Cage was dropped, was stripped as the champion, and she was going to be in that tournament to crown the new champion. And she
Hmm.
was believable, be like she was pretty much like a new China. And I'm not saying that she was all jacked up and built, but she was believable that she could destroy men in the ring.
Oh yeah, dude, she was fucking massive. I mean,
Yeah.
her. I don't know if you ever seen the match with her and ODB, but they tore
No.
down the house in that match. I think it
No.
was one of
I
the
know.
lethal lockdown matches. I think it was like 2008, 2009. They had a
I
lethal lockdown match.
then I really didn't see it because
Oh, dude, it was a good
I
match. You got to check it out.
hardly ever watched their pay-per-views
I have
at the
every
time.
single one of their pay per views because I actually, this was 2011, 2012. I thought this is just before the Impact fucking, they got rid of TNA and they uh, changed it to Impact Wrestling.
Mhm.
I bought a whole bunch of the Don, fuck, I forgot his last name.
Alice.
No, no, not Don Callis. Don West's Brown's
Oh,
Bag Specials.
yeah.
And I pretty much told TNA, like, hey, just give me every single one of your pay per views you got, because you never know. Maybe the company might be going under. You never know. So I wanted to make sure I had all the original copies, just so if someone bought them out, they weren't going to edit the bullshit. So I had them. So yeah, I got every single TNA pay per view.
That's a good idea because I mean, God, they're doing that shit to the movies, and WWE done that. That
Oh yeah,
because
dude, they edited WCW like fucking crazy.
granted, that's I mean they since they edit their WWF pay per views though too because a lot of
Did
times
they?
they use they use a lot of times they use licensed music for their pay per views.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. WrestleMania
so
17, they can't use Limp
yeah.
Bizkit anymore. They
No,
changed it.
actually, I think you listen it on Netflix. It's My Way again.
Okay.
But certain songs they would play, they lost the license because I mean could listen to on the DVD or tape or the recording, but nowadays they would edit them out. But
Hmm.
like I think that's a smart idea because I mean, God, the first time I ever heard someone taking the good something good and they edited it and it's now shit. It was Star Wars
Hmm.
when they did it
Yeah,
to the
that
small.
was 1997, their special edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, worst thing ever.
Mm. And now trying to find the ones without all that crap
I have
is
them. I have the unaltered editions on Blu-ray. I'm not gonna say
oh.
how I got them. Just know I have them.
But and they're pretty much leading into where the whole thing where where Dixie Carter learns about that whole thing between Karen Jarrett and Jeff Jarrett being a thing to the point where she used that to put him on leave so for the longest time because she didn't know well she wanted more power and that was the excuse she needed. That was the bullet that she gave to him to take him out. It's like Jeff Jarrett says, he literally gave her the rope and then she hung him with him because I guess he never went to Dixie saying, "Hey, me and Karen are dating now." Because I mean, even Karen Jarrett says that, God forbid Dixie feel happy for him when he lost his wife and has 3 kids, and then he falls in love with another woman, and they get together, and they're still married today for the longest time now. It's not like they got married and then, like, a year later or 2 or 3, they're divorced. They're still together. Obviously, there's love there. So,
Or the money.
I don't even think he has that crazy amount of money either. Still, but I mean, dude, you look. She still looks good. Like, I think she still looks hot
Oh
for
yeah, dude.
a.
If Karen Jarrett or Karen Angle, whatever the fuck you want to call her,
Mm,
her prime, dude, I'd hit it. I'd knock those
oh
fucking
shoot.
puss boots. Dude, I'd knock her fucking silly. I'll throw that hammer right at her.
So honestly, they're heading towards and they teased the Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff era coming up in episode 3. But it's kind of like how Kratos said when he first joined, is that he has bad feeling that there's not going to be a lot left in episode 3 because I mean you only have 45 minutes of a show really. So they had to put like 500 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, you know, and
Yeah, it's stupid.
there's no way to do that.
I
Like,
agree with you though. They should have did a 3 hour each episode
well,
or a
I
whole
wouldn't even do.
series.
Yeah, you do a whole season because I mean, you could focus more on what's going on. You can go literally through the history of
Yeah, you
knowing.
start at 2002 and work your way.
Well, you could start. Well, you could start what they kind of did. Maybe you can focus a little on Jeff Jarrett a little bit more, and then
Yeah,
and like at the very end of the first, you kind of start heading towards the beginnings of TNA, and then you go from they talk about the beginnings of TNA to all the way to the beginning of when there was Spike, you know, and
you think they're
then
going to talk about the impact stuff, or they're just going to leave it right after the disaster? That's the real question.
I don't know. I mean, let me see if I can see if Grok knows any information. What topics are in episode 3? Let me see if they know. I'll see if they know what's on there. I know, obviously, they're going to talk about Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff era, but after that, I mean, I have no idea. So,
I mean,
okay,
because
this is
are
what
they going to
they
talk about the
said.
whole AJ Styles thing with the one girl saying that he got her pregnant, blah blah blah, it's her baby or it's his baby and all that shit?
I
Jeez,
don't know.
that
So,
that shit was stupid.
so I put on here says episode 3, Dark Side of the Ring, season 7, part 3. It concludes the 3-part deep dive in Jeff Jarrett and TNA wrestling. It airs July 14th at 9 p.m. on Vice TV. Since it has air as July 9th, that's today, right now, as we're recording, the full recap on variable based on the trailer's preview series patterns. It continued directly from parts 1 and 2, divulging further into the later years of Jeff Jarrett's involvement in TNA, the escalating backstage battle, power struggle, controversies, including the growing influence of Dixie Carter and others. The key transitions, such as the the, revive, the debut of Hulk Hogan's associate changes in drama, personal challenges for Jarrett includes redemption arcs, the company evo- evolution, and borders, what ifs, and lasting impact of TNA's informative era. So that's what Grok says. So they didn't really say too much like what other controversies because I was watching a live podcast about this and I said straight up I was kind of a little disappointed because I was looking for some of the controversies that the TNA is well known for, especially because of Dixie Carter. Like I think Jeff Jarrett is no he's a good guy, but he's a worker though too. He knows how to get money. He found his money mark in Dixie.
Oh
But
yeah.
Dixie Carter she's a bitch. So she knows how to, screw people anyway to survive to the
You think
point.
she's gonna talk about Billy Corgan too?
I don't know. I mean, you figured that Billy Corgan should situation with Billy Corgan should bring come up. That should be a big one. The all the controversies with pay should come up where they are not paying the wrestlers on time. They're not paying like certain things like productions and airfare. Other things where they lost their headquarters was at the coming stations where they was
Down in
evicted from
Tennessee.
that. Yeah, where they were evicted, so they had to go to their warehouse as their headquarters.
Yeah.
So,
What I don't get too is why did they give up the Universal Studios? You know, they had a perfect place to air, Impact and their pay per views, and they just like I get the touring because
mm,
I I've actually been to a Slammiversary at the
mm.
Palace when it was there. And this was 2009. It was pretty dark. Like honestly, they could not fill the Palace.
Well,
There
the thing,
was a lot of tape, was a lot of black what the fuck is it? Tarps and a
mm,
lot of dimming the lights to make it look like people were there.
oh, it's probably an Eric Bischoff move because I mean,
No,
or
this is before
back.
Bischoff, dude. This is 2009. Bischoff didn't come in until 2010.
Well, they didn't.
That's when they
Well,
were using
I
what?
thought they didn't start to leave until the Bischoff Hogan era.
No,
That
no. They were
I
touring in 2007, 2008, and
well they
2009.
they tour during that time frame, but they didn't tour like exclusively where they completely left the impact zone. They would have their shows in impact zone, but then they would tour out, do a show here and there. But
Yeah,
they didn't really like they broke away from the impact zone when Hogan and Bischoff showed up. This was the whole thing. We got to tour out, guys. That's when they brought back the four-sided ring, and then that's how the whole thing, the beginnings of the Monday Night Wars Part Two. happen
Yeah, that was a
because they're like,
joke.
yeah, they're like, we gotta be Monday night. I'm like, honestly, I mean, it was a
The eight
balls.
week bullshit that literally took 8 weeks, and then they moved back to Thursday nights because they couldn't compete.
The problem is Dixie is one of these people like if it doesn't work immediately, oh, we gotta go back to what was working or like what feels safe because they don't like the adventure off. Like I mean, in England, it's kind of like Bruce says that they could take their company to England and do very well because they were number one in England when WWE wasn't. WWE was number two in England, so they could have went to to the UK, made a bunch of money, do some showings there, and maybe start a following where we would in America would want them to come back. But they didn't want to do that. I'm sure there was going to be a lot of money they had to use because I'm sure you had to house all the wrestlers probably at hotels for a while. But I'm not
Hmm.
saying stay there forever. But like you go over there for like a month or something, and you do a bunch of tape recordings because they done that before. Like, dude, they would tape record stuff like for for a couple days. They'll do several tape recordings in 2 3 days. So they'll do a pay per view, a live pay per view, and then 2 3 days after that, it's just straight up recordings of Impact. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, they have
it,
to.
well, yeah, I agree. They have to because it saves money for them to do that. Like they already got the equipment there and the people are
Yeah.
already there. So it's best just to do it now. But I mean, I think they shouldn't have left the impact zone either.
No,
But
they
eventually,
should have.
or at least not that fast. They
They
should
should have
ease
kept
it.
their headquarters in Tennessee, had the Impact Zone at Universal Studios Orlando, kept it right there, and like you said, go and tour a little bit here or there, which
Yeah.
is fine. You got to make your money. I get that, but
Mm.
what you said a little bit ago of what isn't broken don't fix. Yet Dixie Carter went and pretty much destroyed it.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, she likes to Well, she would do would be like, oh, it didn't she would try something and then they're like, oh, it didn't work, so they had to go full back and reverse. You know, that's why when the Monday Night Wars Part Two didn't work out, they were like when the ratings were going down because like honestly, during that time I was enjoying the TNA product, watching that than watching WWE. I would record WWE and watch the TNA live because
Yeah.
I was more interested they were doing than what WWE was doing.
Well, yeah.
But
I mean, they had really good, ideas, really good storylines
mhm,
at that point
mhm.
too.
but you gotta admit there was some stupid shit they would show. Like they had Orlando Jordan doing the gay persona where he was just shooting lotion onto his chest and face like a cum shot.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh,
oh
I
my
remember it. It
god.
was stupid.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we get it. You're gay or you're bi. Like, you want to make that semblance that you getting cummed on, even though, God, that's horrible. But I'm like,
Well, like, a lot of wrestling companies do stupid shit.
yeah,
If
no,
you don't do stupid shit in wrestling, it's just, you know,
yeah, but there's it's like I said before, where Jeff Jarrett, no, Vince Russo says, oh, Jarrett wants 1970 USWA wrestling, and I want midget masturbating in the trash can. Like those couldn't be further from one to the other. There's no medium right in the middle. Like
Right.
one's so over the edge, while the other one's just too passe. You know, like God
Yeah.
forbid you find that little spot right in the middle where, like, yeah, you can have some little edgy, but nothing to the edge or over the line like that, you know? Like, it's stupid when like, you're making yourself look um, like a territory company or regional company when you do stupid shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, there's growing pains, though, too, you know? You can't just start from the best unless you're Vince McMahon and you buy your dad's company that was already doing pretty good, and all you did, you took a good formula and you just changed the formula slightly to, to where not only the people who's enjoying this formula in the Northeast, you apply it into the rest of the nation and obviously around the world. You
Yeah,
know,
no, I get that. But at the same time, if Vincent J. McMahon seen what Vincent K. McMahon did to his company, I doubt that Vincent J. would have sold his company to his son. Because, yet again, if you really think about it, he bought up all the territories, destroyed wrestling. You think Vince Sr. would have really liked that? Because he worked with all those territories and worked with the
I
NWA?
I think that ultimately he would like to see his son
Do good.
do good and be more successful than the other one. I mean, it's like I said before. I mean, if it wasn't Vince McMahon, if it wasn't Vince McMahon, it would have been someone else. So
Yeah,
it would have
maybe.
been no, it would have been Vern Gagne or Jim Crockett. It would have been
Well,
one of
Crockett,
those
let's be
two.
fair, Crockett was going down regardless. That's why Turner had to buy it.
Yeah, well, and then if it wasn't that person, then it could have been Paul Heyman. I mean, think about it.
Paul Heyman? Paul
I mean,
Heyman had to
Vince.
borrow money from Vince McMahon to fund ECW. Hey,
Well,
dude, Paul
yeah.
Heyman is a prime example of how not to run a wrestling company, just like fucking Dixie Carter.
Well,
Really?
no, no. I think he knows how to run the company. He should be running the finances of the company. He needs to be the guy coming up with good ideas, the leadership, but as the finances, he should not be behind that. He was doing way too much stuff. He was putting his way too many fingers in too many pots. He was working too many. He's like the chef running a huge restaurant, and he doesn't want anyone else to work the line. He wants the one who wants to cook everything, and because the kitchen burnt down, like yes, he did some horrible shit. I think Paul Heyman gets a little too much love when he done some horrible shit
Mm-hmm.
to some people. I mean, look, to the point where honestly people had to wait until the bankruptcy to get paid. That the whole thing allegedly with this whole Sunny situation with she was got stuck with her credit card bill to the point where they had to lose their house or something like that. And then the
Yeah.
whole thing where uh, Tommy Dreamer apparently was planning to kill Paul Heyman at WrestleMania X7. Did you know that?
Well, no, that I did not know. But
Yeah,
can you blame a lot of these people? I mean, come on, they're putting their bodies on the line for
and
your
they get
company, and you
and
get
they get
fucked every single way.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. He done some shitty things, but yeah, apparently, I guess Tommy Dreamer got upset about how ECW went down and how much money that Tommy Dreamer's parents put into it. That he wasn't thinking right. That he's gonna show up into the Astrodome with a gun and shoot Paul Heyman. I don't know how you're going to get a gun past a metal detector at that time.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm
this is
like,
all pure
yeah,
speculation too.
I think he actually said that recently. I think it's known now that he said that.
Okay.
But look, I'm just saying, like, it's even way harder nowadays because it's not only just you go through a metal detector. If you have a bag, that usually they'll either scan it or you run it through an X-ray machine when you go to events now.
Oh yeah,
And g-
that's what
and good
security does.
and good. And but I just don't think he would have got a gun into that arena.
Oh hell
Back
no,
then,
dude! It would have
I
went off real quick.
Yeah, I mean, in the '80s, I wouldn't doubt if that was possible, or even in the '70s and '60s. Sure, that's possible. But in the '90s and the early 2000s, they were starting to do security checks. Yeah, 9/11 hadn't happened at just yet. This is before
Yeah,
9/11,
of
but
course.
you still had security checks. So I
Oh
don't
yeah.
see it. But we got sidetracked again. So there's gonna be a
Well,
lot of
just
things.
edit out certain parts. There you go.
Oh fuck it. No, it'd be okay. It's this part of we're a lot of this stuff is kind of tied to it. That's why we go from one to the other.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I mean, you got to tell the whole story.
mhm. I mean I mean, dude, imagine all the stories that I guarantee you we're gonna not get a lot of them. We're probably without the Daphne, where Daphne got concussed to the point where she had to retire and they pretty much want to screw her out of her medical bills. And then dude, did you ever hear about Bruce Pritchard actually got fucked from TNA with his pay too?
Dude, who didn't get fucking fucked by their pay?
Well, he got really fucked. See, at least when he was getting paid, they would take his taxes out, right?
Yeah.
Like, but instead of them taking the taxes out and giving it to the tax people, to the IRS, TNA decided to pocket that money instead.
Oh
The
wow, yeah,
IRS,
that's fucked.
yeah, IRS
Yeah,
never
because you're
got that.
a 1099. When you're a wrestler, you're a 1099. So that means you get all that money, so you have to pay it yourself at the end of the year or quarterly, however it
Oh,
works. But
no, Bruce Pritchard was an actual employee of the company
oh,
because
okay.
he was an executive. He was actually getting paid, I think, either weekly or bi-weekly,
Mhm.
but he was considered an employee, but they TNA was literally taking his tax money out of his paycheck instead of giving it to the IRS. They pocketed it, and when the IRS uh, audited Bruce Pritchard, Bruce had to show him on his pay stubs saying, "Here, I paid my taxes. They took the taxes right out of my paycheck." Then they turned and went towards TNA about that, and rightfully so because I mean, well, TNA is a goddamn thief, you know.
No, I agree.
Mm.
You shouldn't be doing that and trying to fuck other people over.
No, see, honestly, I think a lot of this was starting to because I think probably that Panda Energy pulled their funding probably out, you know? So Dixie Carter
Yeah.
had to find ways to, you know, scam and keep the company going because she didn't want to keep putting millions of dollars in it and barely getting any money back, you know? Like it let's be
Yeah,
frank.
like what was it? Father Mitchell even said if he won the Mega Millions of the Powerball, he would
Mm,
never buy a wrestling company or start a
because I
wrestling
mean
company because it wasn't a good
or
idea.
or buy one because unless you have the WWE, um, they're like I don't know if New Japan is profitable. They probably are, or
Oh yeah, they've
Triple
been
A,
around.
but we know TNA really never made a profit ever, ever. They
Well,
never made a profit.
WCW until for like 2 years they turned a profit, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, unless you're the initials WWE, you never, no other company made a profit. Even currently, AEW, they're making the second most money in wrestling history, right behind WWE, and they're still not profitable because
No,
because of TNA, because of Tony Khan is overpaying their wrestlers to the point
he's
where
a money
like
mark.
he's a money mark, and he's a billionaire, and so he's able
Oh,
to
his daddy
overpay.
is.
Well, he's a billionaire as well, or at least he's a
Oh, come on,
millionaire.
Casey, come on.
Oh,
No,
okay,
he is
he's
like
a
the Dixie Carter. He is the
no,
male
he's a,
Dixie Carter. Daddy's funding
he's
it. He's just
he's
playing with his wrestling toys.
he's at least a millionaire. Okay, maybe not a billionaire.
He's a trust fund kid. His daddy gave
Okay,
him money to
okay,
buy a wrestling company.
okay. I'm just saying he's still a millionaire. You know, I'm just saying he still has money. He has more money than Dixie Carter has. Like Dixie Carter wish he has Tony Khan money, you know?
You mean
So
Shad Khan money?
yeah, she wish she had that Khan money, um
Isn't
but
she
you
married to some Arabic dude? Dixie Carter?
no. She
Oh,
it's
I thought she
she
was.
no, it's a I believe it's American guy, but forgot what his name, but I believe he's American.
I'm gonna look that
But
up real quick.
but no, they're probably not going to talk about Daphne's injury. There's that one wrestler with Jesse's was it Sacino or wherever where he broke he was paralyzed for a little bit and he I guess he broke his neck and uh they gave him an office job and then they eventually released him and they stiffed him on the medical bills as well too. Like, dude, they stiffed a lot. I mean, Conan, he even sued TNA for medical bills. So, like, TNA did a lot of shady shit. I mean, look, they took money from Billy Corgan. Like,
You do know Dixie Carter's the owner of Panda's Energy, right?
TNA Energy is no longer a thing.
No, she is. It's called Biotech now.
I mean, I heard Panda Energy is no longer a thing.
Yeah, they just changed it. I'm looking at her profile right now. She's an American businesswoman and current president of Panda Biotech, better known as Panda Energy. And she's the best known for her president of pro wrestling of TNA, former owner of TNA. And
Hold on, right here. I'm looking at it right here. Let me bring this up. This is what Wikipedia has.
That's what I'm looking at Wikipedia too.
This is on Panda Energy. It says in 2017, the Panda's power plant in Temple, Texas, declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Let's see. Panda's current assets is primarily $7.8 million. Uh, say it will endeavor to sell to the highest bidder. If a sale is successful, these funds would. They were saying that it was says Pan in 2022. Panda Power Plants converted its bankruptcy to a Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation. Yeah, they're not a thing anymore,
I
man.
just sent you the article
Where at?
on your phone.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can. Uh, cool thing is I'm able to bring that up on here instead of pull my phone. Okay.
Because it says right
Here.
there, Panda Biotech president.
All right. Well, she represents a range of Fortune 500 companies. Managed. God, she loves to boast about her. Let's go
Of
over
course.
here. Panda Biotech. Panda Biotech is a world leader in sustainable zero waste industrial hemp fiber processing, delivering traceable high quality fibers for global textile supply chain. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Fuck if I know.
That see this looks like it's fake. It looks like they found like a building right here. It's like, hey, let's slap our logo right there. That looks fake right there.
So she's
That
the
look
owner. I think it's the ashes of and
yes.
you know.
This is their this is their product right here. Textile grade fiber. Says they sell this shit. Non woven grade fiber and herd. Uh God, what is that? Micronized herd. What the fuck is this? Yeah, I don't even think they're a power plant no more. They're uh they're in hemp now. They're make
Evidently.
so they're not even power plants no more. So it's yeah, their power plant stuff is done. That she's just reusing the Panda name instead of power plants. It's
You should go work for him. Go on
no.
the career page. Fill it out.
Okay, hold on. Where is
They
that?
got
Let's see.
go to the contacts. That's probably where it would be at. No, that's just growing. Try
Let's,
the about
let's go. Let's go
or all the
down
way
here.
down. Yeah, where it says careers.
You see careers?
Uh, hmm.
He's got.
About that's probably about it. Probably about. It's down in Texas. Ain't that far from you.
We should send this to text. He's probably interested with this. Oh,
No, because
hold
her
on,
dad's still fucking CEO.
hold
So
on.
that was Panda Energy. They just
It-
got changed it
yeah. So
because
I
that's her
thought Bob
husband right there. Or no, that's not her husband. Never mind.
uh fuck is I thought isn't that Bob Carter dead?
No, he's still alive, I guess. Evidently,
Scott Evans. What? That name sounds familiar.
that's her husband right there. Say Surge,
Yeah,
because that's
Surge.
her
Yeah,
last. Yeah, that's her husband.
yeah, Surge right there. Mark Desa. Look at this. He's not even dressed. He's just wearing a black T-shirt, while these other people are well dressed. And it's like, hey, we need you. We need to take a picture of you right now so we can put on the website. Oh, I'm just wearing a black T-shirt right now. Oh, that's okay. We'll just put an AI, a wood background for you because that's definitely AI. That's let's let's go Surge. That's funny shit. Bob Carter. God, that's funny. I know, guys. This is not. I mean, this is TNA related, kind of.
It is.
So this is interesting. Let's go to I guess Rover. Yeah, they sell pot. They sell
It's hemp.
marijuana. Well, what is that right there? That's a
That's a
marijuana leaf.
marijuana plant, but it's hemp. You can make hemp out
Oh,
of clothes.
hey, look at this. Interested in growing hemp for us? Please complete and submit the
There you
form
go,
below.
Casey.
Like, yeah, send me some of your seeds here so I can kind of dry land or irrigated. How did you hear about us? Facebook, Instagram, X,
You
radio,
should put TNA.
TNA. TNA. Dark
Dark
side.
Side of the Ring.
TNA wrestling. Submit. Ah, damn it.
You gotta put all the information in. Just make some bullshit up.
Nah, I don't want to do too much on here. So let's go. Their products, their leadership. What's their oh, there's the show them again. That's their leadership news. Download their press kit. They won a Just Style Excellence Awards winner. What's that supposed to mean? Just
Just an
Style.
award.
Just some bullshit award that they probably made up.
Probably.
Oh, this was made February 5th. This is a 3-minute read. Apparently, you can read this for 3 minutes. You can read about this for 4, read about this for 7. Hold on. Textile World Special Report with Dixie Carter. That's a 7-minute read. Oh, there's our girl right there. So they're completely into a different field nowadays. Wow. And, and Panda Biotech teams up with what? Honor? But they show Wrangler jeans. What the fuck is that? I guess these are people who make Wrangler jeans. Then
They're probably making hemp out of jeans.
let's go to their X count now. All right. Last time we'll do anything about this until we'll
You
wrap
should
up.
follow them.
Let's see. Let's check their media. Let's see what they got. So this is what Dixie Carter now does nowadays. Apparently, she makes hemp seeds. That, or she goes around and cutting ribbons for plants. Like I guarantee you, she probably does nothing
She's a
about.
figurehead.
Yeah, she's a figurehead. She probably shows up. I'm here to cut this ribbon and say hi, people, and move and leave the place, and never come back. You know,
Yeah.
so stupid. Hold on. Put right here. We will lead the nation in industrial hemp. Hold on. This week we officially cut the hemp denim ribbon, so they are making denim out of hemp. I guess
Yeah,
for
it's
Ringling.
possible.
So I mean, hey, you know what? All right, whatever. I still find it weird that they doing this stuff, but
No, cannabis is, very, you can make a lot of money off of cannabis.
oh yeah, I'm not saying that's true. God, we went so far
Down the rabbit
out,
hole?
yeah, the rabbit hole. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, you guys brought up about the whole thing with Billy Corgan and that lawsuit. How they were damn near going to die before, if they didn't got the money from Billy Corgan to continue making their shows, and then when Billy Corgan sends out that lawsuit to TNA because and Dixie Carter because he was promised pretty much the company.
No,
And
he thought he
then
was buying the company.
yeah, and, that would have been better for him if he did instead of like he was doing good with NWA pre-pandemic,
Yes.
but pre-pandemic,
2019
yeah,
was like peak of TNA. When you were in
uh,
Atlanta and you were filming at center stage and you had Into the Fire as a theme song,
no, you mean
that was
NWA?
great. Yeah,
You
that's what
said
I'm saying.
TNA.
NW. Oh, well,
You
no,
said
NWA.
yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. And when the pandemic happened, and he lost all his wrestlers that are pretty much moved on to AEW or WWE. I
Hmm.
mean, it was never the same. I mean,
You
he's still
literally
there.
got rid of the NWA champion. You literally gave to
Yeah,
WWE, and he's just a fucking general manager in a suit. I'm
yeah.
sorry, but Nick, what was fuck? I forget his name.
Aldis.
Yeah, he honestly, I watched him in NWA, great NWA champion. Now it's
Yeah.
just fucking dead again.
I mean, and he was tied with TNA. He was a former
Oh yeah, he
Impact
was Magnus.
champion. Yeah, and he was a former Impact champion before that.
Yeah,
You know. So,
I mean,
but yeah, there's a lot of things that I guarantee you they're not going to bring up. So, like, let's say, like, so let's go ahead and let's bring up, like I was going to bring up before, and let's do this and we'll get our final thoughts. I was showing AJ this, and I showed this last time, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Is Dixie Carter having a talent meeting uh at the impact zone, but they aired this on Spike. So, you ready to want to watch this now?
Yeah.
All right, give me a second. Give me a second. All righty, let's go.
President 6 years ago, I've had a lot of people telling me how to run a wrestling company. And while I appreciate their contributions, it's time for a change. We've had
Note how everyone's kind of like not really smiling. They're all kind of like stone faced. You're pretty much, you hate when you're in one of those meetings at work and you're getting your ass chewed out.
Yeah, I just fucking ignore it and say, yeah, okay, keep talking, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's pretty much what they're going through, a chew out session that put on Spike.
a lot of great things going on in this company. We've made a lot of changes in the last few months that I'm sure you've seen, and we made a bigger change even last week. I can assure you that we'll have more changes coming.
Sorry to
The
stop,
goat,
but
the goat, front and
yeah,
center.
but look, you got Rhino holding up his head, and then Victoria was doing the exact same thing too. So I mean, look at this. They're getting their ass chewed out, right?
Oh yeah.
And look, these two are also holding up their heads too, and this person as well. So they're this is bullshit.
And you
In
got
the coming
Crystal
weeks,
Daniels right
and the
there just chilling,
Yeah,
stone face, like what?
and I think that's Amazing Red right there.
No, that's Frankie Kazarian.
No, not
That's
right there.
oh yeah, that's Awesome Red or Amazing Red.
coming months as well. Nobody likes drastic change. Nobody likes big moves. I understand that. And it affects.
And then you got Scott Demore right here looking down.
That was the biggest mistake of them, is getting rid of him.
Oh yeah, I agree. But when you have the management and slash the agents and executives behind them, and they're all like look upset, and when Scott Demore even looks down, like this is one giant ass chewing.
Different people different ways. And while I respect that those of you out there might have differing opinions of the decisions that I'm making, I expect you to support me 100%. When you question things in this company, you're questioning me. And I cannot allow that to happen. Business is about choices. I've made the choice to put my finances, my reputation, my passion,
Your finances? You mean your daddy's finances? Like your passion? Sure, okay. I mean, I can't say if she doesn't have the passion or not, but your finances, yeah, later on, yes, when you started screwing the company over, but Panda Energy was still heavily involved. Your daddy and mommy are forking the money for this show.
love behind each and every one of you and this company. And it's time for you to do the same thing. You have a choice to make. You can choose to support me. You can choose to support the direction TNA is going, or you can choose not to. But you'll need to find another place to work. It's
You either do that or you have to find another job.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
time for us to swing for the fences. It really is. No great success comes without risk, and I'm great with that.
Sure you are.
I hope you are too. Now's our time. I look out at the faces that have made this company, and you've made me very proud. But this is a test. So I'm asking all of you to step it up in every way possible. And let's do this thing together, because now's our time, and you've got to believe it. If you don't believe it, you're hurting the person sitting next to you. You're hurting me, you're hurting our fans. But if you believe it, let's do this thing together and let's show what everybody we're all about.
I love how she's chewing out her talent roster while on TV. Like
Yeah,
who thought
exactly.
that?
It's messed up.
Like who thought that was a great idea? Like, hey, I know, guys, we need to swing for the fences. Like this should have been never been aired at all. I don't know whose idea that was, but that should have never aired. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
or never been recorded because I mean that's just stupid. Who thought that was a great idea? Like that's just dumb. I hate to say this, but that's kind of like when AEW kind of did the whole thing where they showed off the CM Punk footage where he uh, attacked Jack Perry. Like you couldn't hear what they were saying, like because I think there's no audio with the security footage, but it was just a way to shock the fans because Tony Khan showing off the actual footage because he got a little upset that CM Punk went onto an interview and talked about AEW and pretty much calling Tony Khan a clown. And they talked about the situation and didn't really uh, didn't that film didn't show anything that deny anything, but it was a bad decision the AW did, and this is a bad TNA thing did too. So it was like it's just a desperate move, and I think at least I'd rather see the CM Punk footage than seeing a bunch of the wrestlers getting their ass chewed out because they need to swing for the fences, you know, and
Oh,
not
I agree.
Dixie Carter. Like, but I can't wait. I'm hopefully that they're gonna at least cover a lot of the stuff. I'm not gonna lie, even though it was a good two first episodes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't touch on some of the controversies, but it's kind of hard to touch everything when you only have three episodes, hour apiece. So,
This is true.
I mean, I can understand they have to talk about Jeff Jarrett coming up before they talk about TNA. I mean, you can't talk about TNA without mentioning Jeff Jarrett. It wouldn't be a thing without Jeff Jarrett. I think there. I mean, yeah, you would have Ring of Honor, but I don't think Ring of Honor would have really had that next jump if TNA wasn't there. I think the Ring of Honor would have stayed where it was, but I could be wrong. I mean, I think eventually, honestly, something eventually did came out, and like you have AEW come out from the ashes of nowhere, But that's pretty much it for me. I mean, my final thoughts. I thought they're both good episodes as usual for the Dark Side of the Ring. So can't wait for episode 3. You guys thoughts? Final thoughts before we wrap up?
My final thoughts are that I like the two-part episode so far.
Hmm.
It needs to go in more depth. Just like you know how Vice did the whole "Who Killed WCW." They should have did
Oh
that with
yes.
TNA. That's exactly what they should have did. Like before they rebranded it to
Mm,
Impact
Impact.
Wrestling and then back to TNA, they should have did "Who Killed TNA." Because honestly, They did kill that company. It's not
Well, I mean,
completely dead, but I mean, it, we're shocked it's still surviving after what,
oh,
20,
5 years.
25 years has it been?
No,
2002?
24 years.
24
24.
years, yeah.
I was thinking 2001, but
No,
no, 2000.
2002.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, 24 years.
yeah.
Do you think they're going
So
to touch on Global Force
that's a
and
good
how the
question.
belts were rebranded from like TNA belts to
The
Impact
G
and then the Global Force and all that?
and then back.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's so much. It's like you said. I agree 100%. Instead of doing a Dark Side of the Ring of TNA, they should do another version, like you said, at the downfall of WCW. They could have really done that with TNA. That's would have been perfect because they
but
would
you
have
know
more.
what, Casey? If you look on YouTube, they actually have like the rise and fall of TNA
Mhm.
already as a documentation somebody did. It's on YouTube. I can send it to you after we're done with the show so you can check it out for
Oh,
yourself.
I've seen several like that before.
Oh,
And
have
you know
you?
what?
Okay.
Yeah. And what's funny? There's this channel called OSW.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know who they are.
so they made fun of the whole thing with, you know, the GFW situation where they went from Impact to GFW Impact to
Yeah.
back to Impact Wrestling. They were made fun of that, and then where they showed the GFW belt, and then because they were having problems with the copyright, because GF Impact thought they completely merged with GFW, so they thought, hey, we got the name now. So and then they found out when Jeff Jarrett left, the merger didn't fully happen, so they had to revert back. So they just made these new belts. So they had to put a freaking piece of tin says Impact Wrestling over the GFW logo, but they forgot the ones on the side plates.
Yeah.
Actually, I had that on my wallpaper on my computer for the longest time because I thought that was funny. Because like, they fucked up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's going to be a lot. We could probably bring that up when we do part two. About we could try to think of all the stuff that they forgot to bring up because obviously, unless you can find a transcript of the next one, we don't know what they're going to touch in part three.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like they should have came up with some like they should have talked about the match concept they came out with. Like, like the X divisions for the the
That's true. They only brought up about
or
the
the
X
King of the
division.
Mountain match or the
Oh,
there's so many.
yeah, honestly, there's stuff you don't have to talk about. Just the controversies. There's there are the good stuff, like you said. That's a great point. Like you said, the X division, the Ultimate X.
Yeah.
Like I was not a fan of the King of the Mountain match.
That
I
was kind of
thought,
stupid.
and it really is.
Have you
Like
seen
what?
you weren't there in person to see it. I was. It was stupid.
Hey, hey, Kratos, you still here? I don't know if he's
I
still
think he
here.
died.
Because I was going to ask him, it's like, do you know what a King of the Mountain match is? But,
It's more of the fucking penalty box that looks like a cage
well,
that you have to
well,
go
here,
in for 2 minutes.
it's, well, here's the thing. It's not only that. I think that's part of what makes it so stupid. So
You
it's
start
literally
outside of the ring, you
no.
fight. Yeah,
Do you do that?
yeah.
I
You
thought
start outside of the ring. You go inside of the ring. Person pins somebody, then they have to go into the box for 2 minutes.
it was a
Then
ladder.
the winner has to hang the belt up instead of.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
See, I can. Yeah, I agree because they're trying to change it up than just normal ladder match. See, I thought that is stupid. It's like okay, like this penalty box. I would have got honestly. You know what I would have done? You would get rid of the penalty box, and
Yeah,
honestly,
but it is interesting though.
no, I think it's dumb as fuck.
Oh
What I would have
yeah,
done, I would get rid of the penalty box. And instead of you going up and hanging the belt, you you have the belt hanged up because
right.
in
Traditionally,
yeah, you're in a ladder match. So what do you
pretty
do?
much.
I'm okay if they want to use a pinfall, but here's an idea: you're gonna have several people in this King of the Mountain match. Let's say this: um, if that person gets pinned, maybe they're completely eliminated out of the match. And
You would
then
think.
that person now has the right to go up the ladder, but you still have several people that needs to pin other people before they go up, so they can get
Yeah.
a shot. Or maybe I would get, and if you want to have them get away from the ring for a while being pinned, then here's an idea. Or you don't even have to get rid of them, eliminate them. They can still be in the match, but let
Here's all
let's
the
say
match types, Casey. You have Feast or Fired. You
yeah,
have Gauntlet for the Gold, the King of the Mountain match, Lethal Lockdown, which was good. I like Lethal
yeah,
Lockdown. Monster Balls match. You
yeah.
have Tables, Ladders, and Chairs TLC, and then you have the Ultimate X.
And then there's considered one of the worst matches that they decided to make up was the reverse battle royal.
Yeah, that was. I believe that was their ECW version pay per view. Oh yeah, you
I
can't
don't,
forget Elevation X, Barbed Wire Massacre,
yeah,
Six Sides of Steel, which is the Steel Asylum Ultimate X, the
they're
Barbed
still
Wire
caged.
Steel Cage match, Cuffed in the Cage, Doomsday Blood, the Electrifying Steel Cage match, Queen of the Cage, the Escape match, uh, Full Metal Mayhem.
What's
What
that
is it?
dome?
What
Remember
one?
it's like it's like a steel cage match, but it has a steel dome on top with a
Yeah, that
hole
was the
in the roof.
original Six Sides of Steel. That was the
No,
original
no,
Lethal
no,
Lockdown. The Red
no,
Cage?
no. Let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to I forgot what it's called,
Oh, they
but
do have that one you were talking about, the Reverse Battle Royal.
yeah,
And then
but
there's the 10,000 tax match. Then they had the prison yard match. What was it? The blindfold match. The bull rope match. The empty arena match. Uh, Trying to find the last rights
oh yeah,
match.
the steel asylum. That's what it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
yeah. The
trying to
pole
find.
match. That was Vince Russo.
But the steel asylum is the where it's literally like I said, it's a steel cage with a steel dome with a hole in the middle of the roof.
Yeah,
And
it was a red
so
one.
yeah. So yeah, I guess you're right. It was red. I thought it was a different color, but
Yeah.
I thought it was yellow.
Then
But
the Philadelphia street fight. The
well, here's the
revenge match.
there was only one person could escape that cage, that steel asylum.
Yeah.
Well,
Here's
when the match where the Steel Asylum when Jeff Hardy made his debut, his return,
Yeah.
no one could escape it because
No,
there was
it was
I
too
think
tall.
I think Homicide came close, but he couldn't even do it. Like I think they were like, "Hey, if anyone can really get out of this cage, wins now." Like no
Right.
longer like if it's a work. It's like whoever can actually climb up this cage, go up through that, climb on the roof, and then through that hole on the roof wins now.
Right.
It's a stupid idea. It's like because I mean you had to, I can understand they're trying to do something innovative. It's not the
Yeah.
worst idea in the world, but the whole reverse battle royal is the worst, where they have all the wrestlers outside the ring fighting until I think half the people who were there who got into the ring, and then they have the battle royal again going outwards, and then I
Yeah.
think until the final two have a normal match. Like, oh my god!
You want to hear some
Like
really defunct ones they had?
what?
They had the Deadly Draw. They had the Hangman's Horror, Hard 10, House of Fun, MMA match, and the Sadist Madness match. Yeah.
No, side news before we pretty much leave. I just found out the other day the former Olympic gold medalist, Gable Stevenson.
Oh, I thought you were
He
going to say Kurt Angle.
No, he just joined the UFC.
Okay.
No, it was just recently he just joined the UFC, so he will be a fighter now for the UFC.
Hmm.
So he went from the Olympic gold medalist for wrestling to the WWE, where he barely made an appearance. He was supposed to be the next Kurt Angle, but didn't
Right.
work out. He went to TNA. I mean, he went to NXT, didn't work out, and then got released during, I believe, during the pandemic.
Uh
And
huh.
then now he's going to be in the UFC. So,
Hmm.
hey, at least the guy's still finding work. But
Gotta make
that
money
was,
somehow.
but yeah, I can't wait for episode 3. So let's see if Kratos is back. You back, Kratos? It looks like he's gone. So let's go ahead and call it a day. And I do appreciate. Well, before we do that, you got any other thoughts before we call it?
No, it's good so far. I hope that the third part is a good conclusion, but honestly, like, I know me and Tex are known as WCW guys, but I really enjoyed TNA in its formative years before 2010. From like
Oh, I
2002 to
agree.
2009, I really enjoyed TNA, but then
Mhm.
afterwards, it just went down the fucking shit pipe, just like
Mm.
WCW did.
Oh, I
I,
agree. Pre Hogan era, I was happy with TNA. I was
yeah,
happy what they were doing. Was it perfect? No, but it was truly an alternative to WWE. It
yeah.
was
No
truly
wrestling company will ever be perfect. Not even WWE. And this shell over here shells for them, but still.
yeah.
Hey, at least he admits it. He's got an NDA. He has to be nice to them all the time. That's the rules.
But I mean, so I just can't wait for part 3. So if
We will
that's
see you
it,
next week then for the conclusion for part 3, and we'll give our opinions on that. And
Yeah,
hopefully, they make more better, Dark Side of the Rings, or maybe, like I suggested, maybe a Who Killed TNA.
yeah,
Maybe if Vice is listening to us, which you probably won't because
probably
we're a
not.
no, we're a small no name channel. But
Yeah.
hey, why not?
Well, for Kratos and AJ Raiders, my name's Casey Raw. Thank you for watching us. I know it's a long show, but and I'm sorry we sidetracked. But sometimes when you talk about something, and sometimes we're making examples, it's going to happen where you lead to somewhere else. So it happens. So I do apologize about that. But
Yeah, we're not
hopefully you enjoy.
professionals.
Yeah. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it because I had a blast having with my friends here. So until then, I'll see you guys next week and with part 2 of this. So you guys have a good day and we're out. See you guys.
Adios.